Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Director Saldate, and to everyone that put so much work into this report and into being here today. My first question is about the street enforcement team. There was a Denver Voice analysis in late 2022, so not too far back, that looked at the SET team's logs, and they concluded that the SET's log shows that the team is effectively shuttling people experiencing homelessness around the city instead of connecting them with additional services, which is the stated goal of that team. That team is funded in this budget with $1 million. And my question is just, why should we continue to fund that team rather than shifting that funding within the city to other homelessness outreach efforts that have better tracking and better outcomes, frankly, in connecting people to services, such as teams within HOST or the STAR van, those kind of things?
The SET team is one of the, I think it's important that they're out there. And I'll tell you that, they get those teams there. They tell folks, they connect folks to STAR, to HOST, to other programs. They also shelter people in emergent situations, in hotels, and in things. And I'm talking not just adults, I'm talking children that are in encampments, folks that are in encampments, as well as, like I said, they are almost our first responders for encampments. As we know, just with the volume of encampments that we have in our city, we do not have enough people that go out to these. Our police can't go to these and respond to everything. The complaints that we get, the hundreds of complaints that we get through 311, through non-emergency police, through 911, to try to mitigate some of the hazards. These are our first responders to go out there and try to deal with that and mitigate that. But they always start every engagement with a connection and trying to do a needs assessment of those folks that are out there. And then again, I can't overstate this, they save lives. They are out there saving lives. They're out there in emergent response. Last year, if you recall, when we were in extreme temperatures for an extremely long time, those folks weren't out there telling people to pack up and move along. Those folks were telling them, hey, let me get you to shelter in a warming center. But you're not prepared, giving them gloves, giving them things so they don't get frostbite.
So, and I understand the intent of the team, and I understand why it's important to have people that aren't police that go out and contact homeless folks. What I'm curious about is why we wouldn't fund that within another department whose goal is to reach behavioral health services and those kinds of things. And in particular, I would love to see the data on the outcomes for each of those contacts, because the analysis that I'm talking about wasn't showing those outcomes that we would hope for. And I think those metrics are really, really important when we're figuring out where to spend money and how best to bring people who are unhoused into services. So that's my question.
Definitely appreciate that. And I will say, I also appreciate that it's very hard to measure prevention. It's very hard to measure that. And what you'll talk to any outreach worker, you'll talk to even the host outreach workers in our community space, that you may not get someone on that first intervention or that second intervention, the third, or maybe the 10th, they take you up on it. But each one of them is just as important.
Thank you. And similar question with respect to the AIDS Center. There was a 9 News report just a few weeks ago that essentially said, and I mean, you were the main interviewee in that interview, so I know you're aware of the issues with the AIDS Center, that it's been hard to get people to uptake that service because folks that police contact sort of don't have the trust level required to get them in the door to the AIDS Center. So again, that's a $300,000 budget item. And if what you're looking for is a path to connect people to services, why would we not shift that funding within the city to other providers who specialize in those kind of services?
Yeah, I would say that $300,000 has been, we've gotten a lot of bang for our buck in the over 800 people that have come into the center that have been connected, that when we've hosted outreach court, when we've hosted warrant forgiveness times and it's not just hosting it there, then all our community partners are in the space, connecting people directly to the service, not telling them, hey, go to the Castro building to get your food stamps or go to the DPH building to get your vital documents. We try to bring it all in there to get people that are overwhelmed by our system already and trying to get them there. So I think that $300 is a small investment from the city, and we're getting way more bang for our buck there because a lot of the work being done there is through voluntary community resource. We've just created the hub where people are coming in, volunteer organizations, and providing that area. So I think we're getting a lot of for minimal investment.
And I'd love to see the data on the outcomes so that we can kind of assess that per dollar compared to other services within other parts of the city. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.